Anger is normal, and yet anger can hijack our lives. Anger is a sign that something is unjust, violated, or simply upsetting. We act on our anger by lashing out, venting, punching, kicking, or other aggressive behaviors. The way you express your anger can be constructive or destructive. And when it's destructive, it negatively impacts your relationships, your thinking or judgment, and simply living a normal life. I'm here to give you actionable tools to control your anger. Let's dive in. Hello, my name is Hong. I'm a licensed therapist based in Los Angeles, California. Welcome to our first virtual therapy session on anger management skills. Why do we have issues with anger? Why do we lose our temper? Why can't we just control our anger? We often find ourselves asking why questions, too many why questions. The more we think about anger or solve anger issues, the more angry we can feel. It's like a quicksand. We get more stuck when we're trying to make an effort to get out of the situation. One thing that I like to tell you is anger is an emotion that needs to be felt all the way for it to settle down. Anger can range from little annoyance to intense rage. When we are not aware of various range of anger, anger will get intense to the point that where we can physically feel and behave aggressively. As a result, we face negative consequences such as divorce, domestic violence, losing friends, job loss, and low self-esteem. Anger can also affect our health. A study found that unmanaged anger can cause various health issues such as high blood pressure, digestive issues, increased anxiety and depression, chronic migraine, and increased risk of heart attack and stroke. Awareness is key here. So in order to measure the negative effects of your anger, I prepare an anger consequences questionnaire. The questionnaire basically talks about various negative consequences such as anxiety, depression, getting into physical fight, career issues, relationship issues, and so on. And there's a link in the down description box, so take your time here to answer the questionnaire. As you know, anger is an emotion and deeply rooted in our survival instinct. When we are under threat or in danger, our body and nervous system go into this stress response called fight or flight response. It's our body pumping a surge of energy to either fight or flee. And when we notice this energy, we get feelings. Our feelings is our perception of sensation in our body. Let's say my heart rate is increasing and I'm making fists. My brain interprets this sensation as anger or frustration. When we are not conscious of internal state, we often go into unconscious response to a threat. We either lash out or get physically aggressive with others or run away from intimidating situation. Our unconscious response leads to more problems or leads to more avoidance. We are here to make unconscious conscious. To do so, I like to borrow the concept from ACT, Acceptance and Commitment Therapy. ACT is an evidence-based therapy that combines the mindfulness skills with the practice of self-awareness. Therefore, ACT put a lot of emphasis on self-awareness and mindful response to our feelings. When healing anger, one thing that I highly encourage to consider is putting yourself in various healing experiences. When we are consumed by anger, we lose our way to explore different options. We get stuck, we get fixed mindset and stuck in self-negative talk like, I hate this, no one cares about me, I can't trust myself or anyone, I'm going to fail, this is not gonna work. The list goes on. Instead of being stuck in this one aspect of anger, we want to move from this anger-induced fixity to more fluid experience. So I prepare an exercise for you in order to deconstruct our anger. So it will be helpful to have a pen and paper handy here. First of all, we're going to create a 5-column chart just like so. In the first column, we're going to write a pre-anger feelings. Anger is complicated emotion and anger is related to other emotions. So I want you to take your time to imagine your recent episode of uncontrollable anger. When was the last time you felt angry? So it could be mild anger or it could be intense anger. So when you're running a movie of your recent episode of anger in your mind's eye, what emotion did you notice, did you feel before your anger? The pre-anger feelings can be shame, guilt, fear, anxiety, sadness, hurt, hopelessness, feeling misunderstood, or simply not having enough support. Anger comes with many physical sensations. In the next column, we're going to write down the bodily sensation associated with anger. Let's think about this recent anger experience. I want you to go inside and scan your body from head to toe. What sensation did you feel in your body? You might have experienced increased heart rate and body temperature, tension in your stomach, jaw, shoulder, maybe headache, shakiness, so on. So run a movie of your recent episode of anger and feel your body. And if you feel uncomfortable doing this exercise, I want you to pause the video and take a break and return when you feel ready. And it is important to do your healing at your pace. The next column addresses the trigger thoughts. Simply put, what was the threat at the time? Was your mind in the past and thinking about painful memories? A lot of times we have this negative thinking pattern developed by our past experiences where we struggle with anger. So this old anger is coming up with this new situation. Let's say I grew up being yelled at and ridiculed by my siblings. The chances are I can get very reactive and defensive when my boss raises his voice, when my friends make a joke about me. Looking at your recent episode of angers, what were the trigger thoughts that brings past hurt, failures, and insecurities? Trigger thoughts can be very black and white or all or nothing. So examples of trigger thoughts can be I am failure, I'm not safe, I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, I'm not interesting enough, or I'm not likable or lovable, and so on. Just hearing these trigger thoughts lowers my self-esteem and causes hopelessness inside. Take your time to notice the pattern of your trigger thoughts. The fourth column is about impulse to act. As I mentioned earlier, anger activates our survival instinct, the fight or flight response. We can have the impulse to lash out, kick, punch, or just run away. There's a big difference between impulse to act and actually acting or behaving. Again, let's run a movie of your recent episode of anger and notice your impulses without changing it or judging it. Thus far, we notice our internal state with anger. Now, last column is about actual anger behaviors. What was your way to express your anger? We have normally two habitual ways to express anger. We either act out the anger or act in the anger. Shouting, blaming, name-calling, hitting, or throwing things are extreme ways to act out. The subtle acting out can be rolling eyes or avoiding eye contact, saying judgmental or passive-aggressive things, or withdrawing from the situation. On the other hand, acting in means suppressing anger. We freeze or shut down as opposed to fight or flight response. We numb our feelings, numb our angers by consuming drug and alcohol, binge eating, binge watching, binge playing video games, or oversleeping. We can suppress our feelings in a very self-destructive ways. So take your time to think about your recent experience with anger and notice anger behaviors. Well done! There you have it, 5 anger stages. Pre-anger feelings, sensations, trigger thoughts, impulses, anger behaviors. It is important to not only notice these stages when feeling angry, but also notice these changes in these 5 stages when feeling neutral or stable. That is to say, we experience the full range of our emotions. This exercise will teach you skills to monitor your internal state and help you become proactive with anger rather than reactive when feeling anger inside. Your self-awareness and self-monitoring will slow down your anger. Take care of yourself and do your healing every day.